And in 2017, it was finally time for a refresh. The new updated model is an absolute beast. So as many of you know, it can do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour in 1.9 seconds, and is the first production car in the world to break the 2-second barrier. And it can do 0 to 160 kilometers an hour or 100 miles an hour in 4.2 seconds. It's said to also produce 10 kilonewton meters of torque at the wheels. At the recent presentation, Musk didn't say the top speed, but did say that it was above 250 miles an hour or 400 kilometers an hour. By comparison, the Agera RS by Sweden's Koenigsegg currently holds the world record at 277.9 miles an hour or about 445 kilometers an hour. The crowd was still getting over the top speed figures when Musk announced that the Roadster had a 200 kilowatt-hour battery, which would provide it 620 miles of range or over 1,000 kilometers. For comparison, the P100D has about 420 miles of range. I think the range will be key to converting, or at least convincing those that are critical of electric cars, that this is no longer a gimmick. And also, for all of this, it's important to note that this is the base model, the slowest option of this new Tesla Roadster. So the question has to be asked, is this actually feasible or is this pie in the sky? Well, the website Jalopnik spoke with Carnegie Mellon's Venkat Viswanathan, a mechanical engineering assistant professor who focuses on next-generation battery technology. He remarked that the 1.9 second figure actually seems reasonable. He added that a 200 kilowatt-hour battery pack can easily go 600 miles. An interesting point of note is he estimates that the battery weight alone will be 833 kilograms or 1,800 pounds. As it turns out, it's actually the grip on the tires and the management of getting the power down from the motors to the actual wheels that will be the main bottlenecks in this vehicle. But Tesla has actually had a lot of experience with the P100D on that front, so it seems reasonable that they could get that done. The thing that stood out to me is that this car is breaking all the records. It looks like Tesla is doing this to make a solid point. This vehicle was meant to be a statement, a kind of watershed moment to tell people that this is the direction that cars are going to take. No one can argue with it if it's faster, quicker, and more value for money than most supercars that are out there. But that is if the production model has the same numbers that are listed for the prototype figures. Speaking of other supercars, here's a fun list of how the Roadster 2.0 stacks up against the petrol competition. Nissan GT-R Nismo version, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, costing you $175,000. McLaren P1 GT-R, 0 to 60, 2.4 seconds, at a cost of $3.6 million. Lamborghini Aventador SV, 0 to 60, 2.4 seconds again, cost $493,000. Bugatti Chiron, 0 to 60, 2.3 seconds, cost $2.6 million. Now this next one is interesting. The Dodge Challenger SRT Demon, coming out next year, 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, cost $84,000. So that's actually great value for money. Next up, the Porsche 918 Spyder, 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds, cost $845,000. And then of course, the new Tesla Roadster, 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, cost $200,000. So the question must be asked, are there any cars that can actually do 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds right now? The answer is yes, but they're all F1 cars, dragsters or rally cars. But surprisingly, the acceleration of F1 cars average from about 2.1 seconds to 2.7 seconds. For fun, NASA's Saturn V rocket can do 0 to 60 in 1.5 seconds. But if you want the ultimate, a top fuel dragster can do that in 0.8 seconds. It accelerates so quickly that the car is already traveling at 60 miles an hour by the time the rear tires have crossed the start line. You gotta keep in mind that these drag cars can't even turn properly and need a parachute to even slow down. This isn't to mention that they can only seat one person and consume over half a standard tank of fuel per run. So all in all, 1.9 seconds by Tesla in a production car isn't bad at all. And if the company can get this into production by 2020 as planned, the world has no choice but to realize that they're looking at the future. But all of that being said, it's not all roses for Tesla. There's a wider context at play that I should talk about. Some analysts were saying that this new Roadster may have been a way to shift investor attention away from the Model 3 production issues and reignite some excitement in the company. And I gotta say that when I was watching the announcement, I hadn't sensed such excitement and elation from a crowd since the Apple keynotes of old. I'm not so sure if the sole purpose of the Roadster was to shift attention away from the Model 3, but I can certainly see the announcement being rushed forward to partly achieve that. So anyway, what production issues am I talking about with the Model 3? As most of you know, the Model 3 was supposed to be the electric car that was for the masses. When it was launched back in July, the company was anticipating a production rate of 20,000 cars per month by the end of December. In the last quarter though, Tesla only produced 260 Model 3s. Earlier in November, Tesla pushed back its target volume production on the Model 3 by about 3 months to fix production bottlenecks. It's no secret that the fate of Tesla largely hangs on the success of the Model 3, so it's important that they get this right. And with vehicles like the electric semi-truck and the new Roadster in the pipeline, I really do want Tesla to succeed so that these vehicles come to fruition. It would be a lot easier to sit and criticize about how the company is missing deadlines, but I think it's worth appreciating the magnitude of what the company is actually trying to do within the auto industry. It's not easy for such a small and brand new company. So hopefully the production issues get sorted out and the rest flows smoothly from there. So anyway, what do you guys think? What's your views on the Tesla truck and the new Roadster? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway,